My name is Bradley G. Munkowitz, also known as GMUNK. I'm a graphic designer living in San Francisco. Do mostly print graphic design, a ton of motion graphics, commercials, short films, music videos. Nothing really long format, mostly short films and music videos. I went to school in Humboldt County in Northern California, which is not an art school. It's more of just like a hippie community. Graduated there and put out, I was really into Flash. I'm rather old, so this is back in the late 90s. Did a lot of Flash work, and that was during the time when like the .com boom was happening, so Flash was this new thing. And so put a lot of Flash work out there and got discovered by a company called Virtual, who hired me. They were assembling a super team because they were super funded because of the explosion of the web technologies. And so they flew me to London to go work in a studio of about 20 international designers. I was the only American. And learned, that was my schooling, learned from all of the Danish and German and British and Swedish, and just learned from all these cats. So much about design. And then from there, entered the motion graphics scene under Kyle Cooper, who's my first real boss. And did that for maybe about 7 years. 6-7 years, and just kind of really became a diverse motion graphics designer. And then met Joseph Kosinski on a panel in a conference in Toronto, and he brought me in to work on Tron Legacy, which was definitely the most visible work I've ever done. And from there, that kind of led to UI work on Oblivion, another big visible project. And from there, I decided to move to San Francisco. This was all in LA when I was doing all this work. And which is where like a lot of, it's the big leagues, it's where everything's happening. LA, New York, London, those are the three big kind of hubs for all this, I think. And then moved to San Francisco to be closer to family, and worked at a company called Bot and Dolly. And we did a projection mapping piece called Box, which is another very visible project, just because of the response. The release wasn't visible, but the response was, made it very visible. And then from there, they got bought by Google, so I left them last year, and I've got on my own, got a couple reps doing commercial work now, and just kind of balancing the commercial and personal work, and just kind of following the formula of just, you do client work that pays you, you take time off because you have money, and you do personal work that you love, and then that kind of finds you more client work, and it's just this cycle. And hopefully someday I can take a year off and make a whole series of personal work that I feel really good about. And it's the personal work that really matters to me. And I'm writing short films that I want to make on my own, and I'm doing print series and of styles that I love. And so it's that work that I really am passionate about. The client work, I try to be as passionate as I can about it, but I know it's not mine, so I don't I understand that there's a detachment to it. I certainly don't get butthurt when a client wants to make changes, or I'm very collaborative in client work, and that's what it's about. And I'm very collaborative in my personal work too. A lot of the work I do isn't possible without the people I collaborate with, and I know that, and I credit them as much as I would credit myself. It's really important to me. So again, going back to people karma, so that's been the career so far. I'll probably do another feature film next year. I want to make giant holograms again. And I'm turning 40 this year, and I'm kind of, at some point I'll probably slow down at some point, maybe get a wife and some kids. I don't know. I'm single now, so I just work all the time and party all the time, and I'm a bit of a maniac for now. At some point I'll chill, maybe at some point. I try to keep my style changing a lot. I try to stay really diverse, and I think in the past it was very detailed, very sci-fi, kind of maximalist, techie. Whereas now it's more in the practical realm, so it's a lot of light, it's a lot of volumetric light, a lot of projections and lasers, and then any way to manipulate the light, kind of occlusion objects and perforated tunnels, and LED structures, and then a lot of lensing, sphere lenses, lens filters, hyper wide angle lenses, a lot of out of focus and rack focusing these days. So I guess it's always kind of changing, which is what it's all about, I think. As a designer, you always have to kind of you know, when you do a lot of commercial work for a lot of clients, you learn to be really diverse because you're supplied with all sorts of design problems that you need to solve, and it forces you to be really diverse in a style. So I take that and transcend that to my personal work as well. So so it's always kind of changing, you know. And I think soon it'll be, I want to really design spaces, and that will be a whole new thing, and then use the lighting studies that I've been doing for my short films and bring that into real spaces for experiential design. So my personal work feeds into my client work, where I'll just do something. I'll do a project for the love where I don't make any money, and that will be seen by clients. Usually when you do things that are you know, just kind of your own and just not really informed by other voices, and you just kind of focus on anything you want, it usually leads to richer work, better, richer work. And so that's the stuff that clients gravitate towards because they can feel the energy in it. They can, and so that's usually what they ask for. So a lot of client work has been because of the Adobe project, the Adobe logo remix, and the flash in the can triangle. Light work was fed into big projects for Microsoft and Samsung. Big music video for Eric Prydz, which I hope then gets more big client work, because there were some new techniques in that were really exciting. So for me, it's just about doing the personal work that you love and then turning that into work that pays you.